Not everyone, how are you today? And welcome back to my YouTube channel. And tonight we will learn about pragmatics, utterance, sentence, and proposition. What all of you already know about our material tonight, don't worry and always be happy because we're going to peel it off one by one. Without lingering, we go straight to the first discussion. What is pragmatics? According to Yale, in 1996, mentioned that pragmatics is concerned with the study of the meaning as communication by a speaker or writer and interpreted by a listener or a reader. Pragmatic and semantics can be viewed as a different part of the same general study. Both are concerned with people's ability to use a language meaningfully. Indeed, semantics is mainly concerned with the speaker's competence to use the language system in producing meaningful utterance and processing utterance produced by others. In referring to pragmatics, and to be more specific, Yule defines pragmatics into four areas that pragmatics is concerned with. First, pragmatics in the study of speaker meaning. It more to do with the analysis of what people mean by their utterance than what the words or phrases in those utterance might mean by themselves. Second, pragmatics is the study of contextual meaning. This type of study necessarily involves the interpretation of what people mean in a particular context and how the context influences what is said. Third, pragmatics is the study of how more gets communicated than is said. This approach explores how listeners can make inference about what is said in order to arrive at an interpretation of the speaker's intended meaning. This type of explores how a great deal of what is unsaid is recognized as a part of what is communicated. And the last, pragmatics is the study of the expression of relative distance. So, what is determines the choice between the said and the unsaid. In short, you will clarify that communication clearly depends on only recognizing the meaning of word is an utterance, but also recognizing what speakers mean by their utterance. And so, pragmatics is the study of what speakers mean or speaker meaning. Therefore, we must know what utterance, sentence, and proposition are, and also pragmatics focus on what is not explicitly stated and on how we interpret utterance in situational context. It is concerned not so much with the sense of what is said, that is, what is communicated by the manner and style of an utterance. Before coming to the main discussion of utterance, sentence, and proposition, I think it is better if we refer to their lexical definition because we will find some notes for consideration. Utterance is an action of uttering or expressing things in words, or spoken words or words. Sentence is the largest unit of grammatical, usually containing a subject, verb, object, and expressing such statement, question, or comment. And proposition is the statement that expresses a judgment or an opinion assertion. For their literal understanding, we conclude that utterance is a kind of communication that uses a verbal process. Utterance means articulation system which produce sounds to deliver messages. Simply, utterance is like our daily conversation. Sentence is another part of communication which needs structural knowledge to construct the expression. So, sentence is in the area of grammatical construction that will lead into good or bad construction, formal or informal types, which are commonly found in written media as the tool. Okay, we'll discuss one by one, starting with utterance. Utterance. Utterance is any stretch of talk by one person, before and after which there is silence on the part of the person, and utterance is the use by a particular speaker on a particular occasion of a piece of language, such a sequence, a sentence, or a single phrase, or even a single word. According to Craigler, says that an Utterance is an act of speech or writing. It is a specific event at a particular time and place and involving at least one person, the one who produces the utterance, but usually more than one person. There are several characteristics of utterance. Utterance is a spoken physical event, and utterance can grammatical or not, and always remember, utterance don't focus on the grammatical aspect. Utterance is a piece of language, can a single phrases or even a single word. Utterance is meaningful or meaningless, identified by specific time and particular occasion and by specific person in particular assembly. According to Sari, utterance is created by speaking or writing a piece of language. In process sense, utterance are speech acts, while product sense, utterance are inscription. There are two types of product utterance. A. Constructive utterance. It is state-making utterance. It represents a state of affair or experience. Example, he is the most famous businessman in the world, or can be verifiable. B. Performative utterance. It is a kind of utterance that performs an act of doing something. It brings about a state of affair, be it pleasing, fearing, Alice complains, marrying. Has the function to make a part of the word conform to what is said. Example, I thank you for being here can be either true or false. And performative utterance we divide the two back into explicit or implicit performative. Explicit performative is denote the kind of act that is being performed and the subject must be first person. Example, I request all the passengers to fasten your seatbelt. And second, implicit performative is not the kind of act that is being performed and there is no performative verb in the sentence. For example, we owe our lives to the skills of the pillow. After utterance, we will talk about sentence. A sentence is neither by a physical event nor a physical object. It is conceived as exactly a string of words put together by the grammatical rules of a language. A sentence can be told as the ideal string of words behind various realizations in utterance and extraction. A sentence has no time or place etc., but it has a definite linguistic that expresses a complete truth. Kreidler criticized the traditional way of defining a sentence that is something that expresses a complete truth. This definition, according to him, is rather a strange way of explaining since it assumes that we know what a complete truth is and with this knowledge can determine whether something is or is not sentence. In his opinion, sentences are more knowable than true, but he cannot deny that sentences must have grammatical patterns. Sentences are divided into four types. 1. Simple sentence. It is sentences that are easy to make because they consist only one clause or there is only one subject and one verb. Example, Tiana watches the movie and he likes the movie. 2. Compound sentence is a sentence that is the result of two simple sentences. This can happen if the two simple sentences are inserted a connecting word consisting of for, and, nor, but, or, yet, and so. Example, Aisha likes cake, but her friends prefer chips. I want to read a novel. Yeah, I don't know what a novel to read. 3. Complex sentence. It is a sentence consisting of two clauses. These two clauses are main or independent clause and dependent clause. Complex sentence is combined with subordinate conjunction consisting of before, after, when, while, in order to, even though, although, whenever, even if, etc. Example, I will wait for him until he comes home. And before you apologize, you must acknowledge that what you did was wrong. 4. Compound complex sentence. It is a combination between compound sentence and complex sentence. So, in one sentence have more than one independent clause and dependent clause. Example, my mother was angry to me and she didn't give me permission to go out weekend, which I plan to go to the movie. Okay, in the last, we are going to talk about proposition. Proposition is the part of the meaning of the utterance of a declarative sentence which describes some states of affairs. A proposition is a claim about the word and it has just the form of an idea. Richard said that proposition is the basic meaning which a sentence expresses. Even though it can be expressed in different ways, it still has the same basic meaning. In concern on the meaning of sentence, a proposition will tell us nothing unless we know whether it is true or false. And it is not to be true or false, it is an item of knowledge. Example, Smith can die. We cannot say Smith can die. It's a true proposition unless we know what Smith is. For example, he has finished the assignment before the time, and so have I. This sentence has one sentence, but it has two propositions. He has finished the assignment, and I have finished the assignment. We've covered all of our material today. How do you understand what pragmatics, utterance, sentence, and proposition are? We can conclude that utterance is an expression happen in specific event at a particular times and place and commonly marked with quotation. We will have sentence concerned on the manner of grammar and its description in a syntactic analysis, and by going on to filter out certain types of grammatical information, we can get proposition which concern of the matter of a meaning and its description are a semantic analysis. Okay, finish our discussion today. Thank you so much for watching my videos this time. May help all of you in learning and understanding pragmatics, utterance, sentence, and proposition. You should always maintain health and safety. Thank you for your attention. Good night and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.